Hey, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. Got the second in our mini-series of Duck Dunn lessons. Today we're looking at Knock on Wood, the Eddie Floyd tune, one of my favourite Duck Dunn lines. It's very simple. What I really like about it, it's very offbeat and syncopated, and the basic line that I'm going to show you today almost acts as like a counter melody to the main melody. Really recognisable bass line. The other thing I really like about it is it's in A, and Duck Dunn's not shy about getting up to some of these high notes. It gets up to F sharp, 11th fret of the G string. So for those of you who are beginners, haven't been playing for that long, this song may help you get up into the higher register of the bass and learn some of the notes up there, which is great. Before we go look at the first part of the lesson, which is the intro, if you're not a subscriber to my free monthly e-zine, click on the link underneath the video if you're watching on YouTube. Head over to my website, find the subscribe page. It's linked from the right hand column of every page on the website. Go and subscribe. You get a free series of lesson video and PDF lessons as a thank you for subscribing, and then there's a free monthly lesson as well, which you get simply for subscribing. There's no fee involved, the only cost is your email address. So go and do that if you're not a member, and then let's go and head over to the video and let's go and start looking at Knock on Wood, and let's start looking at the intro. The intro is a 4-bar section, crops up again later in the tune. Play it with the metronome set slowly and we'll talk through the notes. 1, 2, 3. Then you'd be into the verse, obviously. Interesting little section this, because you miss playing on the downbeats of bar 2 and bar 4. So let's go through it slowly. Starts off on E, 7th fret of the A string, and then that first bar you end on the and beat with a G, 5th fret of the D string. So, and then you miss the first downbeat, or the downbeat of bar 2. Slide your hand to the 7th fret of the D string, and then you play A for the rest of that bar. Then the third bar you go up to B, 9th fret of the D string, and then on the and of that bar, or the last and of that bar of beat 4, you've got D, 7th fret of the G string. Then you miss the downbeat of bar 4, and then you go back to B. So again, play it through the metronome, just have a listen, and you'll be able to correlate it with the original as well. So those downbeats being missed, really interesting, nice little touch to the pattern. So after that intro, we go and hit the basic verse pattern. The verse is a 12-bar section made up of 4 bars in A, 4 bars in E, and then 4 bars in A again. I'm going to play the first 8 bars, so 4 bars in A and then 4 bars in E, and then the final 4 bars in A of the verse are identical to the initial first 4 bars. So play those first 8 bars, 2, 3, 4. Back to the 4 bars in A again. So let's look. This is a simple pattern that repeats. The pattern's identical but just transposed for each key, but because you're starting off A here, 7th fret of the D string, you have to, unless you played it here at the 12th fret of the A string, I prefer to play it here, you have to change the fingerings for the different keys. So in A, the notes we're looking at are A, 7th fret of the D string, F sharp, 11th fret of the G string, E, 9th fret of the G string, C sharp, 11th fret of the D string, and you've got this really cool offbeat rhythm. And that pattern's repeated in E, so you transpose the pattern down. You can hear it sounds identical. but I'm playing it slightly differently because we can play it in one position effectively without stretching, without moving. So in E, the notes are E, the 7th fret of the A string, C sharp, 6th fret of the D string, B, 7th fret of the, 9th fret of the D string, and G sharp, which is the 6th fret of the D string, and this kind of rhythm. Again, identical rhythm to the first 4 bars. And then what's nice is that last note, the G sharp, is a nice little chromatic approach note when you go back and play the next 4 bars of A. And that would close the verse out, and then we go to the chorus. Okay, chorus 1, and then the little horn riff that leads us back to the verse, is based up of patterns that we've already learned so far in the tune, in the intro and the verse. Play through the chorus 1, and then we'll just talk through how it's made up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to verse 2. So those patterns are all patterns we've played. Starts off with a bar of that basic riff we use in the verse, but in E. Then a bar in A. Another bar in E. Another bar in A. And then that sort of pattern is brought to an end with a stab, and that's where the lyric goes, knock on wood, which is just on the E note, the 7th fret of the A string. And you can get all the notes from those pattern from the verse section of the tape. And then it repeats the intro figure. Then you'll be back to verse 2. Now we're now going to skip ahead and look at chorus 2, as chorus 2 is slightly different on that that riff figure there that we just played, and then there's a little horn riff as well. So we're going to look at chorus 2 and the horn riff. Okay, I'm going to play through chorus 2 and the horn riff in its entirety, and then we'll talk through the differences. It's pretty similar to what you've already learned. 3, 4. Okay, so what we do is we play chorus 2, starts out the same as chorus 1. We've got the riff in E, going up to A, and then you've got the stab on E. Then we've got the riff. The first 3 bars are identical. And then the 4th bar is where we get that syncopated offbeat climb down from the D that we just fretted at the 7th fret of the G string. And that climb down, starting from the D, is, and that's D, B, 9th fret of the D string, A, 7th fret of the D string, longer held note G, the 5th fret of the D string, and then you've got the horn riff itself. You've got a bar of F sharp in 8th notes, 4th fret of the D string, a bar of G sharp in 8th notes, 6th fret of the D string, a bar of A in 8th notes, but drop the last 8th note of the bar, 7th fret of the D string for this A. And then you've got those stabs, C, B, 10th and 9th frets respectively of the D string. And those are all the parts you need to learn, and after that the song goes back to sections that you already know.